This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
From the Pacific to Atlantic, anytime and wherever you are, join us.
You are watching, listening, and streaming on INCRadio.
Watching, listening, and streaming on INCRadio. INCRadio Canada. Join us. Hey. Join us, join us, join us. INCRadio Canada. Join us.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We are now broadcasting live from Canada. I am Sister LJ Palomeno, all the way here from the heart of Canada, here in the district of Manitoba. And of course, I'm also joined by other districts all over Canada. So let's start off from the West Coast, saying hi to Ate Eliza.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Ate LJ. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everyone all over the world. Thank you for tuning in INC Radio here in Canada. My name is Sister Eliza May Asa, and I'm from District of British Columbia, locale of East Vancouver.
Ayon. Thank you, Ate Eliza. Later, or in a bit, can you check what the weather is like there? Because I am curious. Pero let's go off to the East Coast and let's say hi to Kuya Homer.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all. Brother Homer here from the local congregation of Rexdale, Ecclesiastical District of Greater Toronto, and welcome to INC Radio Canada. It is minus 2 degrees here, and then snow is just melting. It snowed last night, so be safe out there. It's better if you're indoors and listening to INC Radio.
Ayun. Dito naman in the district of Manitoba, here in the city of Winnipeg, it is -11, feels like -14. So the wind is making it colder kasi nga it's coming from the northeast. Yeah, it's galing from the north side. So that's why it's bringing that cooler air in, and we're getting lots of snow today. Lately, it's actually been really nice as well. We've had like 0, -2 the last few days, pero yun nga, it's kind of dipping again, and then it's gonna get nicer again. So it's been fluctuating, but again, it's only January, so winter is still going to peak. So I know for here in Manitoba, February is our coldest month of the year talaga. So ayun. Ate Lisa, ikaw, what's the weather like there in BC?
Yeah, I like when you say Ate LJ is getting nicer, -2. Now we didn't reach yet the minus or negative degree, which is I'm very thankful. We don't have any snow yet. Hopefully there's no snow, but yeah, currently we're in 5 degrees and it's cloudy and it's not that windy, so the weather is just perfect for me. 5 degrees, no snow.
Ayun, perfect. Ate, maybe I'll see you there kasi I'm gonna go there next week.
Oh,
I hope the weather stays really nice and it's not rainy. Pero I'm gonna bring an umbrella just in case because I was hearing it does rain
yeah,
around
just
that time of
let
the
me
year.
know. Yeah.
Yes, ayon. So, anyways, but off to our intro of the topic for today. Ayun nga. So, our topic for today is called Mindfulness for Busy People. So, how to stay present in a fast-paced world. Ayun. So, the description for that one is, in today's fast-paced world, it often feels like we're constantly juggling a million things at once. So whether it's work, our family, our church duties, our church, and even like our personal responsibilities, the idea of slowing down and being in the present can almost seem like a luxury, right? And this episode, we will ask, our past panelists here today, so Kuya Homer and Ate Eliza, how they manage having a busy schedule and still fit time to have mindfulness and be able to unwind. Ganon. Ayan. So, before, we get started with our topic, I see someone commented dun sa live chat natin. So, Brother Mario Oka said, "Good morning here in the Philippines and enjoy watching here in INC Radio Canada." So, hello, Brother Mario. Good morning dyan sa Philippines. Ayan. So, again, maybe our audience and those who are tuning into YouTube, or who is maybe even just listening, is asking, what is mindfulness nga? So sometimes, we need a little description of what that actually means. So based on the healthline.com, so they released a article, or a blog. So they said that mindfulness is the practice of gently focusing on your awareness on the present moment over and over again. Ayan. So it's about really focusing on things that we also need, things that also need other attention. And so even on the Oxford Language Dictionary, they also gave two different kinds of meaning to mindfulness. So it says here, the state or the quality of being conscious or aware of something. The other definition is a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensation used as a therapeutic technique. So, if you notice, a lot of the terms that they use for mindfulness is about being gentle, being calm. So, those are the things that we need to practice, especially for those who are busy people. So, for those, our audience who are also constantly always on the go, maybe this is something of a topic that will benefit you, because sometimes we get caught up on certain things. We get focused on certain tasks that we forget to often also give attention to other things that also need attention in our life. But we're gonna go off to our first question na nga for today's show, which is, can you share a time in your life or day when taking a few moments to be mindful changed the course of your day? Ayan. So I'll go first para Kuya Homer and Ate Eliza have time to also kind of reflect and also answer our question today. So, yun nga, can you share a time in your life or day when taking a few moments to be mindful change the course of your day? So, when I've had a really busy day at work, one of the things that I like to do is actually eat a comfort food, because sometimes when we're always on the go, we usually just eat on a rush or eat whatever we can or snack in between. Sometimes I work in a healthcare setting, so sometimes there are often times where I won't get a lunch hour because we're so busy and we fall behind in our patients. That's just part of going to work. Sometimes you don't get a lunch break, but that's totally okay. So usually, what I do at the end of the day, just to kind of lighten up the mood, and also I call it a pick me up. Basically, sometimes I'll have a pick me up coffee. So I'll go to my favorite coffee shop that's close to my workplace, and I'll get like a matcha latte. That's something that picks me up. That cheers me up throughout the day. Even though it was really busy. Or what I said is I like to eat comfort food. Anything from fast food that can also be a comfort food. Sometimes you just need to indulge in fast food run, or bubble tea. Things like that. Because food always cheers me up. So, but yeah. So ikaw, Kuya Homer, what kind of things picks you up throughout the day if you're having a really busy day?
I guess for me to answer that question, sharing a time of day when I do it is, I guess, during my break time. And during my break time is obviously when you eat your lunch that you prepared from home, or when you go to the coffee shop to get a small snack. But then you don't try to consume the entire time eating, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're doing. I take a moment during that break to reset my thoughts, reset my mind. You know, you can do that through short prayer, and
Mm.
then it makes you realize throughout the day, okay, I've missed this, I've missed that, because my line of work right now is I'm dealing with customers who also have a fast-paced type of environment. Like I'm a wholesaler, right? I sell plumbing supplies.
Mm-hmm.
So in certain cases, you cannot predict how busy you will get, and then when
Mm-hmm.
you do, you tend to fall back on things that you need to focus on,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to customer service. So it kind of helps you reset your mind, puts you back on track on what you need to prioritize on, and and yeah, and it helps you be more productive throughout that day, in my
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Ayun. I love that you use the word reset, Kuya, because that's such a wonderful way to kind of think about it, is when you're taking a break or when you're having those moments in your day where you stay present. That's when you can reset, like what Kuya Homer said, right? We take that time of the day where we kind of refocus ourselves on the task that we need to do. Again, like what I said earlier, is that we get hyper focused sometimes on certain things that are still important, but other things get amiss in between that time. So Ate Eliza, ikaw, what's a pick me up thing that you do during the day just to kind of lighten up your day after a busy day?
Yeah, just like you at the LJ and Kuya Homer, a mix of matcha, break, and also Kuya Homer is kind of like the reset. Like, how do I do my reset during my busy schedule at work? Like, we have four clients and we're supporting them with their everyday life, like medical appointments. This is people with disabilities. So sometimes they have highly medical needs. So they're very in demand when it comes to asking or supporting them outside the community. Sometimes you really cannot avoid being stressed, right? Because you have to do a lot of stuff like do charting. But what I noticed, just like what Kuya Homer mentioned a while ago, I like resetting by just checking my phone for a few minutes, and then I'm trying to avoid any social media or any kind of just drink my matcha and just kind of give breathing exercises. They could
Mm-hmm.
deep breath and say, "Yeah, I did," and I also give myself a good feedback all the time and reflect on how as the day goes by, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how I do my meditation.
Ayan. I love that, Ate Liza. Ayun nga. So, like taking those breaks in between your day just to have that reset time is very important. It's very important. That also basically goes with our second question, is how do you incorporate mindfulness in your day? So, what Ate Eliza said, and Kuya Homer, they'll have time to reset throughout the day. One of the other ways that you can also reset, or what I also personally do, is sometimes I get busy with patients in between, that you forget to go to the bathroom sometimes. So, if you have time and you know that you need to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom, pee, whatever, hilamos or something like that, wash your face, or, little things like that, just to kind of step away from what you're currently doing. Because sometimes that's all you really need, is just also to just take a deep breath. Also, don't forget to drink water throughout the day. That's also one of the ways I started drinking water more, because I actually started bringing a water bottle with me when I go to work, so that I'll have an excuse to actually step out of the room, take a sip of water, go to the bathroom. I find those little times, but there are also other lines of work that you can't, really step out until it's your break, and that's totally fine. During one of the things that I actually learned from my one of my profs in college is, when I was going to dental school, is that he said that one of the older dentists told him that throughout the day, you want to take a break where you're doing anything else but talking about your work or looking at your work or stressing about your work. So do anything else, like what at least says, check your phone, read the news or listen to the news or do some journaling. At the Elisa was saying that kanina before our broadcast, do some journaling or talk to your colleagues about what they're gonna do in the weekend. Anything but what you're doing at work. Take a step back from it, and then that's also something to keep you grounded of saying, okay, you need to take a step back and then worry about something else during this time. So that's also one of the ways that you can also incorporate being present in the moment. And I think on the live chat, at the Kathleen Gaw from BC, she said hello po from BC. So hi, Ate Kathleen. So she's also there in the live chat. So for those who are in the live chat, if you have any tips that you want to share or things of that you do to incorporate mindfulness in your day, please let us know, because we're also curious on what you do, and what certain things you do to have a pick me up on a busy day. But ikaw, Kuya Homer, what kind of exercise or things that you do to slow down and stay present, even if it's just maybe just outside of work? If you're busy with other things, like what else do you do to kind of keep yourself self in the present?
It's not like I stop to exercise. Like I said, I do the reset or put my train back on the rail during break, diba? But throughout the rest of the day, I try to take it one step at a time, because I'm guilty of rushing, and I'm guilty of trying to multitask, trying to finish everything at once, and then next thing you know, I forget that instead of focusing on one and finishing that job, you now have 10 jobs that are not finished, 10 tasks rather, they're unfinished, and then you catch up on all of them at the same time. So I take it one step at a time. I try to make that a force of habit, one step at a time. And then in that one step at a time, from out of the 10 that you might be currently multitasking on, you prioritize, right? What's an emergency? For those who are in the healthcare, I'm pretty sure that they do that. Si Ate Eliza, diba, healthcare. In my case, it's a customer service, right? Which one is an emergency? Which one needs to be fixed because there was an error? Because you cannot avoid errors. And sometimes either myself from our company or the customer, you can, instead of wasting your time blaming, focus on what needs to be fixed. Okay, those are the two main things that you need to focus on, and then the rest will just trickle on, because you're now thinking about time frame of when the customer needs, or
Mm-hmm.
whoever needs to be taken care of next. So the
Mm-hmm.
first two things, emergency, and if there are any mistakes that needs to be fixed. So take your time, take it one step at a time. That's my practice.
Ayun. I love that. And also one of the things that like earlier I mentioned, one of the definitions that I found on that website called healthline.com, they when they did that little article or blog about mindfulness, one of the other things that they also said on there is actually start your day with an intention. So, set a goal for what you need to get done for the day, make a checklist that you need to get done, or things that our priority for that day. Each and every day can look different, but sometimes the same. So like for me, most of my days are the same except for days of worship service days, or I have to perform my duty. That's the only thing that really changes in my schedule. But one of the things that always stuck to me is that you can plan things around worship service, makes necessary adjustments. Worship service and your performance of your duties always going to come first, and other things can always wait out of priority, right? So that's a really good tip. So start your day with an intention. So before you get out of bed, take a deep breath, set an intention, reflect on how you want to approach your tasks for the day. um, There's also, they also said, practice mindful breathing. So sometimes things can get overwhelming, and sometimes we just need to take a step back and take a breather. One of the things they actually said here is you can even do mindful breathing while you're waiting in line for your coffee, or before a meeting, or even while you're commuting, um, to go home or to go to work, things like that, just to make you feel calm and also practice that mindfulness, right? There's also mindful eating. So this doesn't have to be necessarily about eating healthy, but it's more the basically what they're trying to say is that pay attention to the food that you're actually eating. So there are times where, for example, we're on our lunch break, right, or even at home, right, where we're eating but we're also on our phone scrolling at the same time. So things like that. So make sure you're focused on eating, and then scroll after, things like that. And then you can also use some reminders for yourself, set a reminder on your phone, or if you like to do journaling, you can also put a checklist there, put your reminders. I know one of the things that the church promotes, or INC Media promotes as well, is the Christian, what is it called, Kuya? The book? Um, it's
The book.
slipping. The it's like where you can also put journaling stuff. I forgot what it's called.
It's not a
um
diary, is it?
no, it's not. I forgot what it's called.
Planner,
Hold on.
planner.
There you go, a Christian
Christian
planner.
planner.
So, if you're into planning, since we're only 11 days here in abroad, but 12 days there in the Philippines. We're only 12 days or 11 days into the year, so you still have time to start your planner. So if you go to incmedia.org, they have an awesome tool there. Yun nga, Christian planner, where you can print it out yourself. Or if you watch INC Media live every Friday, you can also win a Christian planner. So that's also good, right? You can use those tools, or there's also digital planners that you can do, or you can also download the Christian planner as a PDF and do it on your tablet or on your computer. Use that as a tool to keep you mindful, because I know some brethren would also do like Christian verses and stuff like that. So that's also one way to also keep mindfulness. Have that word of God that to keep you grounded and also to remind you of your faith, right? And one of the other things they also said is end your day with a reflection. So before you go to bed, or at the end of your work day, or at the end of your day when you're unwinding before bed, look at your checklist, see what you've accomplished, give yourself a pat in the back if you did accomplish anything, right? Because there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow, but obviously you got to make sure that you set your priorities right when it comes to your tasks. So anyways, but
Without abusing the mañana habit.
exactly,
I mean,
but
there's always tomorrow. Yeah.
yeah, there's always tomorrow, but obviously still being mindful and get your tasks done, even though there's always tomorrow. So number 4, one of our other questions
Wait,
is
nangungulit na si Kuya JC. Oh, hello, watching from Calgary. Hello, Kuya JC. Answer the questions, please.
Hi, Kuya Casey.
hi KJC. But so the other thing is, so again, we shared how we practice our mindfulness throughout the day, what are the things that we do. So my other question is, what is the most difficult part of practicing mindfulness? Ayun. I'll go first. So what for me, one of the things that it's hard to stay in the present sometimes when I have a lot of yun nga, I have a lot of tasks, but it also gets to me that I procrastinate sometimes. That's also one of the things. So one of the things, yes, we're busy, but there's also times where we procrastinate and we forget the things that we're supposed to do. So for me, is definitely procrastinating sometimes. Ikaw, Ate Eliza, what is the most difficult part of staying mindful throughout the day for you when you get busy?
That is true at the LJ. Sometimes, not sometimes, but when you procrastinate, you ended up being stressed, right? So that's why you can't have your mindfulness. But I do usually go out, walk in the nature,
Mhm.
the nature, take a deep breath, every
Mm-hmm.
time I want mindfulness because it's avoid me from distractions. Try to put my phone on do not disturb, like whatever. I need to take care of myself. I need to do this. I need to connect with the nature. I need to take some. I need to have some fresh air. Sometimes I,
Mm-hmm.
but we also have a lot of parks here, beautiful parks here in BC. That's what I love about here. Like you can just go anywhere in the park and you can really fresh the smell the pine trees, and that actually motivates me even just like for 10 minutes, and not use
Mm-hmm.
phone. Yeah, that's how I actually do my busy day to be mindful, avoid distractions with mindfulness.
Ayun. Exactly. Sometimes even like at the end of the day, sometimes when we go on our phone, right? Sometimes social media can also be a really stressful place to be at. Sometimes it doesn't take away that stress, right? So I like what you said there at being
Yeah,
able to
that
go
is.
nature walks, right? Because there's a lot of negative things that we also see on social media, but it's not always a positive place to be,
Yeah.
is what I say. Yeah.
Mhm.
Ikaw, Kuya Homer, what was the most difficult part of practicing mindfulness with you?
I guess what the tip that I might be able to personally share is when you're at work, like what Ate Eliza said, social media can be, it's a form of distraction. However, if you get distracted too much on it, malulose track ka na naman, and then you're gonna lose track again. So one practice that I try to do, especially while at work, is I put my phone face down so that I'm not looking at the screen of it. So, and it will help a lot. So for those of us who are listening, who are active on social media, um, especially right now that you hear a lot of things happening around the world, try not to get involved with what's happening outside your bubble, but focus
Mm-hmm.
on what's going on right now, especially when you're at your 9 to 5 and you're trying to support a family. Diba? Or yourself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
trying not to get in trouble or whatnot, or trying to be able to help others accordingly. So focus on that and take your time. And yeah.
I love that, Kuya. I love that tip because it means then, like when you see your phone and the notifications are going off, you constantly wanna click on that notification and check it out. Like what Elisa said earlier, one of the ways that she also steps away is also puts her phone on do not disturb. There are times where nowadays, phones are really advanced where you can set a timer, even on social media platforms. There are times where you can set a timer of when you want to get cut off from your social media. Like it'll remind you, hey, you set this time to step away, or to stop scrolling and all that stuff. So things like that. There's a lot of tools and tips that you can use nowadays to be able to step away and also be present in your life more, and with the people around you. Also, one of the things that I wanted to say, as a tip, is also, when you come home from work, leave the stress, the annoyance, all the other stuff at work. All work stuff. Once you leave that at work, because sometimes we forget that, right? I know I'm guilty of it, especially me and my mom. We work at I work at three clinics, and I work with her in one of our three clinics. So there are times when our day gets pretty stressful, and then even when we're going home and even while we're having dinner, sometimes we still talk about work. And it it's it's not nice because even all that stressor, all that annoyance that you had from work, you're still bringing it with you. And sometimes my dad reminds us, like, hey, work is done. Leave that. The day's over. You can talk about that tomorrow. You can That's a tomorrow that's a tomorrow stress or that's a tomorrow worry na lang, when you're at work. Because again, right, it's not pleasing, or it's not, also it's not very mindful for those around you, that you have that lingering energy or that annoyance from work that you take home with you, or when you go out with your friends, you're still annoyed from what happened at work, right? It's not fun. You want to have fun. It's you're there to spend time with those people around you that you love, and be able to unwind, right? So again, one of the other things you can do to unwind and to be present is to spend time with your loved ones, right? Have dinner, go out with your friends, go to CFO activities or Christian family organization activities. We'll talk about the upcoming activities later that you can join in your own locale and district, to be able to unwind. But speaking of, church and also CFO activities, one of our last question for our discussion today is actually, how does your faith play in your practicing of mindfulness? Ayun. Kuya Homer, ikaw, how does your faith play a role in practicing your mindfulness in a busy day, or not even just a busy day, busy life in general?
I actually mentioned it in my first answer in the first question. So you pray first, and then you ask God to put your mind back together if it's dismantled, because you tend to get busy throughout the day, and then ask God to use instruments in helping you throughout the day, even even as simple as praying for the coffee that you drink, and then that helps spark your mind into getting jump started to focus on what's going on right now, so that you can get back on track of what you need to do. That's my fair share of that one. uh, Other than that, I guess uh, just you know keeping that in mind. It doesn't necessarily mean that need to be in a secluded area to talk to God. Constantly, you have to constantly talk to God, even when you're facing a person, right? It's like giving yourself an active conscience.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're talking to like a second person. Hey, how do I reply to this rude person? Exactly, right? Keeping that in
Mm-hmm.
mind, if that makes any sense.
Yes. Ayun. Thanks, Kuya Homer. Actually, I quickly want to go to the live chat because Ate Hazel Bunag is there. She said, "Hello, hello, INC Radio Canada. Greetings from Calgary, Canada." And she also said, "Yes, there's tomorrow, but we shouldn't procrastinate all the time." Exactly. Yes, just because there's tomorrow. Yes, we shouldn't procrastinate all the time. Ate Kathleen, she said, I agree. So my 2025 goal is not to check work emails or Teams whenever I am home. Exactly. So even like, times when you're off work, you're off work. Don't worry about it. Take your time to unwind, have a self care day, go to the spa, I don't know, get coffee, eat your favorite food. Sometimes we just need those days to kind of have a reset, right? If you're that busy and you can't take time off work, take a few, even like 30 minutes or an hour of your day at the end of the day just to have time for yourself, take a bath, like things like that, that can kind of refocus yourself into your busy schedule. So for me, how does my faith play in practicing mindfulness? Definitely, my church duties are one of the ways that we can also kind of reset and unwind from what we have, going on outside of church, right? Like what I said earlier, join your CFO activities because there's lots of activities to help not only strengthen your faith, not only strengthen your bond with your fellow brothers and sisters in the faith, but also, that's also for you, right? That's also for the growth of your faith, because sometimes we just need also um, other interactions outside of our family to kind of also reset, right? Having that time to kind of spend with other people, and having those activities to be able to grow in your faith also helps us all the more as well. Ate Eliza, ikaw, how does your faith play a role in practicing
Oh,
mindfulness?
I'm so thankful and grateful that I'm a member inside a church. I was called and I'm also an officer. We are taught not to worry about anything if you feel stressed. And I always give my confidence to God. Like every time I encounter things, I treat it, this is not normal. We already treat that this is really gonna happen. So sometimes, I'm human. I feel stressed, but every morning before we go to work, we pray, guide us, pray to God that may God guide us, and after, before we go to bed, you are grateful, you're thankful to God. It wouldn't, no matter what is that, even if it's hardships, struggles. Like, I have experienced like when my client passed away, it was very stressful
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to be attached to your client, right? Because that is part of your job, but you're human. You always remember what they did to you. Like they're disabled, and every time they smile, when you just give them a short assistance or short supports, and they smile and they're thankful, that really made my job, I feel very like joyful and rewarded, and I'm thankful. Like, you know I have this opportunity, and all the times, like I'm thankful to God, and just give your confidence to God. That helps me a lot.
Ayun. I love that. I love that. I love that that we find people that really really love their job, because sometimes that is definitely a blessing from God to have a job that you love, right? That you feel satisfied and that you feel fulfilled. And I think even just being in the healthcare profession, it's also it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding when you have patients, who say thank you, or they're happy with the treatment that you gave them, because that's also one of the satisfactions that that you get from being someone who is in the healthcare profession, because it can get stressful. And I love that prayer is one of the things that will always guide us and will always help us throughout the day. And when we set our intentions with God and through a prayer, that's when that our day will never be super super stressful, because we have God that guides us. But anyways, that is it for our discussion for that. So thank you, Ate Eliza and Kuya Homer, for incorporating your tips and sharing your experiences with us with regards to how you stayed mindful throughout your busy day. And we actually have a verse of the week that we want to share with you, which is what the Bible teaches us about self care. So one of the questions that they ask is, can self care become toxic? So we're talking about mindfulness. So can self care become toxic? This verse of the week reminds us what to prioritize to truly take care of ourselves. Ayon. So if Kuya Tek can play our verse of the week, what the Bible teaches us about self care.
Self-care has now become a widely popular concept. On social media alone, the topic of self-care now has billions of views on TikTok, and its hashtag has millions of posts on Instagram. Now, it's not wrong for us to take care of ourselves, but can self-care or too much self-love become harmful? I'm Brother Felmar Sereno, and this is what we'll learn about in our verse of the week in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 to 5. But you need to be aware that in the final days, the culture of society will become extremely fierce. People will be self-centered lovers of themselves and obsessed with money. They will boast of great things as they strut around in their arrogant pride and mock all that is right. They will ignore their own families. They will be ungrateful and ungodly. They will become addicted to hateful and malicious slander. Slaves to their desires, they will be ferocious, belligerent haters of what is good and right. With brutal treachery, they will act without restraint, bigoted and wrapped in clouds of their conceit. They will find their delight in the pleasures of this world more than the pleasures of the loving God. They may pretend to have a respect for God, but in reality they want nothing to do with God's power. Stay away from people like these. So according to the Bible, too much self-love can be destructive. When? If we would value our own desires over what the Lord God wants for us. So instead of living a self-love centered kind of life, how should we live? More than anyone, including ourselves, we should love God first, with all of our heart, with all of our soul, with all of our mind, and with all of our strength. That's based on Mark 12:30. We hope you've gained inspiration from this verse of the week. If you know anyone who could use this reminder, please share this short video with them. Stay safe, stay strong, stay faithful. God bless.
Ayun. So what a timely reminder again, right? So even though we're practicing mindfulness, and like what we said all throughout our show is that, make sure you pray with your intentions of having a good day, or what goals you have set for yourself for the day, because God will always guide you in everything that you do throughout the day. But let's go off to our second video for today, which is actually our British Columbia. Or sorry, I was gonna get at the Lisa to introduce it. Ate, sige, go ahead.
Okay, Ate LJ. Yes, thank you, Ate LJ. So let's please post. No, I was not. Ate LJ. Okay, please help me. Um,
Ayun.
for the next video po, for our travel log, British Columbia by Sister Natalie Fitzpatrick and Sister Kathleen Gao. Kuya Tek.
Hello, INCRadio viewers. I am Sister Kathleen Cruz from INCRadio Canada, and for today's segment, we will tour you around British Columbia. Let's start off with Vernon, British Columbia.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Vernon.
Vernon, British Columbia is located in the southern interior of British Columbia. By distance, you'll need to drive about 5 to 6 hours from Vancouver or another 5 to 6 hours from Calgary. Vernon is known for their surrounding lakes like this Kalamalka Lake, which can be your essential place to go for its semi-arid climate or hot. This can be an excellent stopover in between Calgary and Vancouver. So if you happen to visit, make a stop at Davison Orchards, a family-run farm with local produce like apple, tractor, pulled wagon rides that are perfect for kids, and meet some goats and sheep, which you can feed for as low as 25 cents. Now let's go over to Prince George, British Columbia.
Hello all, welcome to Prince George, British Columbia.
Prince George's visitors enjoy the wild beauty and outdoor experience it brings. It sits on the traditional lands of First Nation, also called people where the rivers come together. Though we are quite a 10-hour drive from Vancouver, you can truly enjoy art galleries, museums, and various culinary scenes.
Next stop, let's visit Squamish, British Columbia.
Hello from the outdoor recreational capital of Canada, Squamish, British Columbia. Come with me as we explore the small town located an hour away from Vancouver.
Squamish is known for its beautiful outdoor destination. The name Sea to Sky gives justice, especially if you're driving from Vancouver, which is only 67 kilometers away. Before the main town, there are Shannon Falls and the Sea to Sky gondola. Let's go and go up 2,940 feet up in the air, where you will see an eagle's eye view of the sea and the sky. Up there, you can go along the trails and hike to see more of the mountainscapes. Not only that, Squamish offers mountain biking with hundreds of biking trails, mountain climbing, kiteboarding, and other outdoor activities. Next up, let's go to Vancouver.
Downtown Vancouver has a lot of places to see and eat. Let's visit Canada Place, located in the heart of Vancouver's waterfront. Canada Place is an iconic landmark and venue for world-class events and inspirationally Canadian experiences. Here you can access cruises, World Trade Center, and fly over Canada. Fly over Canada is a flying theater attraction that gives you a feeling of flight. Next to visit is Gastown, which is only a few meters away, known for its working steam clock. About half an hour drive away from Vancouver is the city of Burnaby, to where we can find the House of Worship of Burnaby. Let's not forget, no matter where we go, let's always find a place of worship. Next stop is New Westminster.
Hi, my name is Sister Tamar de la Cruz from the locale of New Westminster in the District of British Columbia, and I will be taking you in a mini tour here in Quayside Park in New Westminster, so come along. Let's now go to the city of New Westminster, the oldest city in Western Canada, where we can find the well-known New Westminster Pier Park situated in downtown New Westminster. It is a waterfront park with a playground and sports facilities, plus a boardwalk for fitness and scenic views. What's special about this park is that this is where we held the Worldwide Walk to Fight Poverty in May of 2018. Next stop, the city of Richmond.
Now, Richmond is also known for being a suburb city. It's home to many residents, families especially, because there's lots of parks and schools in the area. Now, this boat might look old, but the fishing community is very well and still alive today. And every year on Canada Day, which is July 1st, a salmon festival is held here in the Steveston Village, where it is celebrated because of the salmon that continues to run through the waters, through the Fraser River in our area.
Victoria is the capital city of British Columbia. With abundant parkland, it's known for outdoor activities. Overlooking Victoria's majestic inner harbour, you can find BC's Parliament buildings, which are home to the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia. Victoria's waters are home to 3 resident pods of orca whales, totaling 76 whales. This is also the city where you can find the House of Worship in Victoria.
I hope you enjoyed our tour in the beautiful British Columbia. See you next time!
Ayun. So that was such a fun video because it's very informative. So if you're interested or if you're from Canada and haven't been traveling around Canada yet, you know, British Columbia is definitely one of my favorite provinces here in Canada. But ikaw, Ate Eliza, which part of British Columbia are you from? Or in Vancouver, where are you exactly from?
I'm from East Van, Ate LJ.
Ayun.
Yeah,
What are
I used to
ikaw,
stay
Ate, what are stuff to see in East Vancouver since they didn't really mention it in the video?
Here in East Vancouver, mostly it's about the, like what I mentioned earlier, park. I love
Mm,
about different. We do have many parts. Children like kids friendly. I mean, and then
mhm,
you can also do your workout or jogging, walking from
ayun.
city to being close to nature. Yeah, that's what I love about East Van.
Ayun. And Ate, that's also accessible, like train by, like, let's say you're coming from the Vancouver airport, like there's a straight access to the train lines there to East Van.
Yes, yeah. Yes, there's a few train stop. I get 29 station Joyce Collingwood, which is very known for Filipino area. Joyce Collingwood.
Mm,
Yeah.
ayun.
So just let me know if you're going here. I can be your tour guide
Ayun.
during
we can
daytime
we
or
can
one of those
explore
days. Yeah,
exactly.
for sure. I can drove you around in Vancouver and Burnaby.
Ayun, ayun. Yeah, even when I went to Vancouver last year, when I went to go visit Ate Kathleen, when she got married,
Yeah.
you know, I got to meet Ate Eliza.
Mhm.
I got to reconnect with our other INC radio crew there. But it's such a beautiful place, and definitely, I love that the air feels so fresh. Is
Yeah,
that,
right.
like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I mean, I'm not saying like Manitoba's air is not fresh, but I mean, it's just, I guess, because of the mountains and, like, especially the sea, you're close to the bodies of water, right? It's really nice, scenic. But this time around, when I go to visit BC, I'm actually gonna go to Victoria to see what the island is like. So
Oh, yeah, Victoria.
looking forward to that. But I'll also be around Vancouver, so Ate, I will let you know if I'm around. But anyways, ayun nga, that's it for our British Columbia travel log. But Kuya Homer, what else do we have up next?
Okay, up next we have, if we can have Kuya Tech again, to play What's in Your Cookbook featuring Egg Tart. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to What's in Your Cookbook, brought to you by the INCradio Canada Satellite Studio. And today's recipe is egg tarts. Listed over here are all of the ingredients you will need. So you will need 4 eggs, 1 can of evaporated milk, 1 can of condensed milk, and 30 ready-to-bake tart shells. And this is absolutely optional, but you can strain your mixture at least 2 to 4 times to remove any of the clumps. This also helps to ensure you get a smooth and creamy texture. And next up is prep your ready-to-bake tart shells by letting it thaw out for at least 15 minutes. The prep mixture is enough to fill at least 30 of the ready-to-bake tart shells. So ladle it in just enough to fill the tart shells up to the brim, and while filling in your tart shells, make sure to preheat your oven to 350 Fahrenheit. So again, preheat your oven to 315 Fahrenheit and bake for about 25 minutes or until golden brown. And to ensure it's cooked, poke it with a toothpick or a fork, and if it comes out clean, then it's fully baked through. And when it first comes out, it looks totally eggy, but let it completely cool first. And once it's completely cools, it will have a nice flat and shiny top. And now you're ready to serve and enjoy. And we hope that you have enjoyed today's What's in Your Cookbook recipe of egg tarts, only here on INCRadio Canada, and we hope to see you next time.
That looks very enticing and very tasty. So
Ay.
I'm looking forward to your next visit here in Greater Toronto.
Yes, I will make you some, kuya. It's really easy nga kasi nga, sometimes, again, like what I said kanina in our topic, you need those pick-me-up food sometimes or drinks. Egg tarts is definitely one of a good sweet treat. But you know what? It's not too sweet because I think that's the best compliment you can get out of a dessert is when people say it's not too sweet. But anyways, again, thank you for that. What's in your cookbook of egg tarts? And now we're gonna go off and actually promote our upcoming activities that are happening all throughout Canada, or specifically in the Greater Toronto area, as well in the British Columbia area, and as well as here in the District of Manitoba. So if Kuya Tech can play our bumper for our catching up with Canada. Welcome back to Catching Up with Canada. Let's see what our brethren have been up to this week and what other activities we can expect. Ayun. So here for the District of Manitoba, tomorrow, January 12th at 5 p.m. in all of the local congregation and all those who have chapels around the District of Manitoba. We are having our special gathering for all of the officers, and as well as every day, there's always Bible studies that are happening at the chapel every day at 7 p.m. Central Time. So, we can attend Bible studies at least once a weekend, as well as our different departments are also assigned different days that we can attend. But that doesn't always mean that you're limited to that day of your department, but you can also go any of the day that you are available. And of course, don't forget to share your faith when you attend our Bible studies, and as well as our evangelical missions every Friday at 7:30 p.m. and all of the local congregations and group worship services. Ayan, anything for Greater Toronto, Kuya Homer?
Thank you. Today we held a holy baptism that was led by our district minister, Brother Raul Adalia. So congratulations to all the baptized and newly added members to the CFO, or Christian Family Organization. Looking forward to having you in all the activities. And speaking of activities, I would just like to plug in to the day also, January 11. Well, that's also yesterday in the Philippines already. The premiere of the Sebsi films entitled Ipakipaglaban ang Pananampalataya. Can you be able to pronounce that properly? Ipakipaglaban. Fight for your faith and ang paglikas. Starting today. So lahat po yan, ma-enjoy po ng lahat ng mga kapatid all over the world.
Kuya, English speaking ako eh.
Oh. Whoops.
Anyways, ayun. Any more for Greater Toronto, Kuya, or is that it for?
Yeah, it's for the other bumper.
All right, all right. Ate Eliza, ikaw, anything for catching up with Canada that's going on in BC?
Yes, thank you, Ate LJ and Kuya Homer. Here in District of British Columbia, last night, 7:30 p.m., January 10, we had also our district um district officers gathering at Caslo, and also this afternoon 1 p.m. at Bernadette Chapel we also had our holy baptism. So congratulations po to all newly baptized and welcome po inside the Holy Church. That's it po. Hi Kuya JC.
Ayun. Thank you, Ate Eliza. Hi, Kuya JC. Ikaw, do you have any promotes for catching up with Canada in Calgary region?
Oh, actually, hello po. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone watching, listening, and streaming INC Radio Canada.
Kala ko kakanta ka na, kuya.
Kaya nga eh. Actually, just want to host, siguro promote and push that this, in few weeks, in a week, we'll be having our district winter games.
Ayun.
So winter games, basketball, volleyball, para sa everyone, Kadiwa and Bini. So yeah, join us so that you can able to, experience the fun of playing outside the cold. Not just joking lang. Winter games lang siya, but not outside. Actually, dami kong gustong sagot, kaya lang it's hard to answer while you're driving, and of course.
Ikaw, kuya, one tip na lang before we go to our next segment. One tip you can share to stay mindful in a busy schedule. Ayun.
Stay calm. Think twice before you do. Think twice before you talk, and always pray. Kasi ang pinag-pray mo is to give you a clear mind.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a clear mind, tapos you're in a situation that Kuya Homer knows it's a headache. You need to have a clear mind. You need to have everything. Kasi when you decide, when you talk, when you do something, you need to be able to be 100% sure that na okay and maliwanag yung isipan mo, because there are things that you need to do. The kinakailangan is clear mind, especially being mindful of things that are happening around you. So yeah, you need to be calm, relax, and of course pray that you have a clear mind. Yun lang.
Ayun. Thank you, Kuya JC.
And smile. Kuya JC.
Yeah, smile, relax, enjoy life.
Exactly. Ayun. Di ba nga kanina sabi dun din sa description ng mindfulness is actually gentle focusing and be calm. That's literally what it says on the description of what mindfulness is. So tama si Kuya JC, just be calm. Ayun. And enjoy the moment.
Alam niyo, natutuwa ako, nakikita ko sa social media, ang daming mga nagtatay ng knot.
Yeah, madami na i-engage.
Yeah, Sister Jonah Maban.
Ate Jonah?
Yeah. Congratulations, Sister Jonah Maban and Brother Boy. Finally, they're both good. Last week or this week, Kuya. Sorry, I forgot.
Si Elaine din, di ba? Matagal na si Elaine din, di ba?
Oh, yes.
Elaine, yes, Ate Elaine. I think last month.
Yeah.
Even Ate Hazel D.
Oh!
Hindi na siya D. I can't remember her. De La Cruz. So De La Cruz na yung last year. Mrs. De La Cruz na siya. So madaming engage and getting married.
And she's in Southern
baka si
Ontario now.
Kuya JC, ko na naman sabihin. Let's move on na.
Huwag ka mag-alala. Hindi ko kayo dadamay. Okay lang yan.
Yeah, stay calm daw, LJ. So it's okay.
Lagi mindful. So, bahala ka na sa buhay mo.
Anyway, speaking of getting married and CFO, we have CFO in action really quickly. Kuya Tech, if you can play our bumper for CFO in action. Ayun, we're just gonna quickly rapid fire our CFO in action. But here for the District of Manitoba in our locale, we launched a walk challenge. So if you're keeping tabs of your walking steps throughout the day, make sure you report it back to us for our locale so that we can include you in the challenge there. And Kuya Homer, I think you had one for CFO really quickly? Did you?
Yes, yes. I was currently typing something. Nagulat ako eh. CWS, Children's Worship Service Organization, in our local congregation, Rexdale, will be holding a card making next week. Looking forward to having all the parents and the children come. Thank you very much.
Ayan. Ate Liza, ikaw, CFO.
Yes po. Here naman po sa District of British Columbia tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Scottish Cultural Center, we will be having po our CFO Leadership Conference. Po.
Ayan. Thank you, thank you. And Kuya Homer, if you can quickly go to our Christian value takeaway to kind of tie up our show for tonight. Ayan.
Like what Brother Felmar, in our segment earlier, mindfulness doesn't need to be complicated or time-consuming. Part of incorporating mindfulness on a busy schedule is in life is also incorporating our faith always. Remember to pray at all times. And that's what I like in that takeaway.
Ayan. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Kuya Homer, for our Christian value takeaway. And of course, we want to say our special acknowledgements as well before we end our show. A special acknowledgement goes to our executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and to our Christian Family Organization Coordinator, Brother Angelo Iranio Manalo. And for everything that you do for all of us, po, for your love and your concern, we appreciate them, po. So thank you so much, and we love you so much, po. And of course, I'm also extending my greetings quickly to our district here in the District of Manitoba, our District Minister, Brother Roland W. Andrade, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Felmar Serrano, and as well as our Christian Family Organization Overseer, Brother Ramil Makaspak II. And that is it for INC Radio Canada. Again, thank you, Kuya Tech, and thank you to all of our hosts and panelists that join us today. And thank you for tuning into INC Radio Canada.
Thank
See you next week. Happy New Year!
Thank you
Happy
so
New
much.
Year! Thank you po.
Hello to all the brethren here in Greater Toronto.
Ontis noon pa may nagtindi ka ng mga lingkod mo mangunguna sa bayan nga iyong inihala sa iglesia sila